Alright, what you're looking at right here is the 1-year chart for GME. This was the original sneeze, as we call it, to 480. We went down to 40, up to 350, down to a low of 120, up to 350 again, down to 150, up to 220, down to 167, up to 250, and here we are marking a low of just about 85. So it would be really profitable if there would have been a way to predict this run up, and this run up. So let's see how we possibly could have done that. So again, as I've been saying, this entire graph is algorithmic controlled and has nothing to do with retail buying whatsoever, and I'm going to prove it to you. So if we go from this peak to this peak, we got 62 trading days and 90 calendar days. If we go from this peak to this peak, again, 60 trading days and 85 calendar days. If we go from this peak to this peak, 58 trading days and 83 calendar days. So using this method, let's see when our next peak should be. We'll go from this high and we'll take it out anywhere between 58 and 60 days, and that puts us just around February 18th. So now the question is, well, when do we start running up? So from this drop right here until the bottom right here, we had 40 trading days and 57 calendar days. From this drop to this bottom, we had 39 trading days and 56 calendar days, and from this top until this bottom, we had 37 trading days and 54 calendar days. So logic would tell us that anywhere between 37 and 40 trading days would be our next bottom. Let's see if it played out. So we'll go from the drop until our bottom of 85 right here, and what do you know? 40 trading days and 61 calendar days. This was the bottom at 85, and then we had another bottom at 88, and then we had another bottom at 95. Triple bottom formation. Well, now things get a little crazier. So we know that the first part of the cycle is tracked, but how do we know that the second part of the cycle will track? Well, we're going to take the bar pattern from this drop all the way until this run up. So we're going to take this, we're going to take this right here, and we're going to overlay it right here. So again, we're starting at the first red day, and we're going to bring it over to our first red day over here, and let's see what happens. Let me just delete this. So as you can see, tracks pretty well. Now this tracking tells me that Tuesday or Wednesday, Feb 8th or Feb 9th, should be the next start of the big run up. However, there's something different about this run to keep in mind, which is that at any point during these cycles, if we would break above this upper resistance line or below this 5-year support line, that will be a completely new trend. And so this cycle, if it can take us above this 182 mark, it should send us flying extremely upwards for a long extended period of time. Just another example of how these cycles track. If we take this drop to this top and we bring it over, so every run is going to have different variables, and every cycle is going to have different variables and market holidays and whatnot, but as you can see, very similar, and again, very similar price action, and again, very similar price action. These cycles are just algo driven, repetitive, and the logic behind it is to bore the investor out with 40 days of straight downtrend and another 40 days of straight downtrend, make you think that it's over, although clearly it's not. And so my prediction going forward is a run up starting tomorrow, Feb 8th, or maybe Feb 9th. It really depends. As soon as we could break out of this downtrend that started on November 23rd, and as you can see, we are scarily close right here, should end within a day or two, is when I believe we'll start the next big move up. and obviously we're just going to have to wait a few days to see how this plays out. In terms of indicators, so I have a few indicators that I use to tell me when a GME big move is coming, and I'll show you them right here. So I use the QQE signals, and as you can see, before every big run up, I got a long trigger here, I got a long trigger here. There's always a fake out, so here will be the fake out, but I wouldn't count a long trigger until after we bottom. So here we bottomed after 40 days, and I got the long, and I went long. This one was too early. I didn't get 40 days yet, but over here after we bottomed, I then got a long trigger, and you could see what happened next. Again, too early, not 40 days yet, didn't go in, but here we got our long trigger, and you could see what happened next. Here we bottomed, and here I got my long trigger, so it only makes sense to me what's happening next. On the boom indicator pro that I have on the bottom, every time we get green circles passing through the red cloud is when we start to move up. So I'm just going to change this back to candles. Before this humongous run in February, I got continuation a couple of days before this big run, and before this run right here, got the green circles indicating buying pressure. Before this run, got the green circles, and this was a false alarm, but as you can see right here, I got my green circles indicating buyers are taking control, and I also got the continuation symbol, and the last time I got that was a 300-point upswing. So nothing is, guaranteed in life, but as a betting man, I'm going to take the bet that we move up and not down. That's the analysis.